Want to start with this. Aaron Rodgers announced that after the Super Bowl, he is going to isolate for 4 days in the dark. He said multiple friends have done it in a tiny house somewhere, probably in the woods, where he is going to get as close to Aaron Rodgers as he can, and that hopefully fundamentally, through meditation, through isolation, he will come out with an answer on what to do with his life. My takeaway is I like meditation. I don't think people, as a rule, give themselves enough time. We give our time to our kids, our spouses, our friends, our job. We don't give ourselves enough time to just heal, decompress. So I'm a big believer in meditation. I try to do it a couple times a week or more. After my show, I go into a dark room for about 45 minutes and just close my eyes. Sometimes I turn on a sleep app, sometimes music, sometimes I just close my eyes. I think it's really healthy. Now, the messenger, Aaron Rodgers, is unique. I think a lot of people do this. A lot of artists do it. Maybe not as many farmers. Maybe Midwest people think it sounds too Hollywood. But it's the strange part isn't what he's doing. I wouldn't be comfortable for 4 days in total darkness. But I think the strangest part about it, he's a star quarterback, and we're just not accustomed to that. We tend to like our athletes. We don't like to think of them as lost or trying to find themselves. We like them up front, up center. We like them to know where they're going, where they're headed, straight ahead, strong, alpha, powerful. And that doesn't mean you can't be that if you're Aaron Rodgers and go hide for 4 days. I just think he is a person that we don't identify as somebody that would do that. Now, I do think Aaron is single, never married, no kids, really rich. And as Bill Simmons and I have discussed before, I've known people in the media as they get older, never married, no kids, get odd. And they become the center of their universe. And it's all about finding themselves and about them, themselves, me, my journey. How do I manifest it? It's a little obnoxious. But I think the bigger issue here is it's a quarterback for a really popular NFL team. And it just sounds different, and we're not really accustomed to it or used to it. So I'm all for meditation, though. Whatever it takes. I don't think we give enough time to ourselves. I see people with 4 and 5 kids. They're like taxi drivers. They're Uber drivers. They're all weekend long. They're shuttling their kids to this. They're shuttling their kids to that. And my takeaway is, when do you give yourself time? You don't. And so I wish all of us, I think people would be happier, less angry, if they just chilled out, cut their days in half, meditate every day. Now, I know that's unrealistic for a lot of people, but it's not unrealistic for Aaron Rodgers. He has enough season, even in season. He's been doing this for a long time. You don't have to teach Aaron a lot. He gets a game plan. He comes equipped every meeting with institutional knowledge. So it sounds kookier than it is for young people of financial means. I think a lot of people do this. They go on journeys and they go on escapes and, the ayahuasca stuff. I'm in my 50s. That sounds like crazy town to me. This, married, kids, career, sounds like crazy town for me and my life. But, I know people think I beat up on Aaron all the time, but he's a different cat. That's okay. Not every quarterback's the same. Some are big, some are tall, some run, some don't. Some are pocket, some are mobile. And some are ethereal. Some meditate, some don't. Russell Wilson's personality is way different than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers is much different than all four of those guys as well. It's okay. Shapes, sizes, personalities, it's okay to be different. Odd for me to do it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Not that I'm scared of the dark, but I don't think I have to discover much. Like I think I know what I am and where I'm going. I think after about 3 hours, I'd be like, and I give myself time. I think I'd be like, all right, I'm hungry. I want to go in the light and get a yogurt. I don't know if I could do it. I know I couldn't do it. So I was told by a source that I trust and have known for a long time, somebody that has a lot of connections through the world of sports and the world of agents. He's very connected to agents. That as Laker fans bag on Rob Pelinka for not pulling the trigger on a Kyrie Irving move, that Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, was so pissed off at Kyrie Irving that he signed him to a contract, believed in him, trusted him, committed to him, did everything he asked, and was so infuriated with Kyrie's vaccine stance, not playing through injuries, how he had disrupted and turned this Harden, Kyrie, KD situation into a mess, that he refused. He would not trade Kyrie to the Lakers and LeBron, not because he hated the Lakers, because he refused to let Kyrie go where he wanted to go. He was not going to let it happen. And so, listen, I've been very hypercritical of the Lakers for years. I don't think institutionally they're run very well. I mean, in the last 10 years, 9 of them, they've been bad. And then there was the bubble year, which is kind of an outlier, odd year. That they don't have a lot of assets because they gave up a ton when LeBron first got there to get AD. Now they gave up KCP and Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell to get Westbrook. They just don't have any assets. But this was about Joe Tsai, the owner of Brooklyn, so ticked off at Kyrie Irving that he didn't care. He was not going to be a Laker. Listen, this stuff happens. Billionaires hold grudges. I just saw the other day where the Phoenix Suns have a new owner who owns a mortgage company, and everybody voted in favor of the new owner, and the Cleveland Cavaliers abstained in voting. Why? Because the Cavaliers owner, Dan Gilbert, owns another mortgage company. And so, they're rival mortgage companies. So it's okay. Like you just have to come to terms with billionaires are aggressive. They can be very territorial. And in this instance, I don't blame the owner of the Nets. Listen, I understand. I don't like mandates, even with COVID. I said it 100 times on the air, I'm not a fan of mandates. I think people should be able to do with their body what they choose to do, even if it's ill-advised or misguided. And I got the vaccine and 1 booster. I'm done getting all of it. I've done it. At this point, if I get it, I get it. I no longer wear masks. I don't think they're hyper effective. So what's the point? Unless I'm told I have to. But if I hired an employee at the volume, big compensation, you're part of a team, and you covered the NFL and you refused to work the NFL playoffs, I would be upset. I'd probably be semi-bitter. And so you can't blame KD for this mess. He's been the best player. You can blame Harden for it, but he came in out of shape to begin with, so that's sort of on the Brooklyn Nets, and he had a history of difficult to play with. But Kyrie was the fascinating piece because he had played so brilliantly at times with LeBron James. And though he didn't work as the go-to star in Boston long-term, he was very good as a teammate with LeBron James. And as a teammate to Kevin Durant, you could make the argument it was going to be a pretty compelling team in the East. The Harden thing, come on, I wouldn't have made that move. I get it. The KD thing, he's been pretty good. Hurt, but pretty good. Great some nights. Kyrie was the essential piece, and he blew it up. I get it. I know the NBA is pro-player. And I'm okay with that too. But there is also a responsibility by the player to not have to be 100% to play every night. The great Kobe Bryant understood that. There's a lot of kids. It's their only time they're going to see you this year or the next year. And I think Kyrie, the criticism he's received is completely, utterly justified. And you can't blame KD. He's been mostly great. And you can't blame Harden because he came in out of shape to begin with, and we knew his history. He couldn't play with people, right? Kyrie did play very well with LeBron, and they put a lot of trust in him, and he blew it up. Owner's pissed. You're not going to the Lakers, and you're not going to play with LeBron, period.